Hey, I'm really excited to make more videos. So one of the ideas that I had today to make more content and to make it faster is to do puppet shows to attract people's attention. So this isn't exactly working on my AI, but it is utilizing the voice that we already cloned, and I'm going to pipeline it to another software to be able to put prompts into it to give Vex dialogue before the LLM model is able to give it to him itself. Essentially, a puppet show. I'll be able to say my lines, type what Vex says, make Vex say it back in his voice. I know it's cheating, I'm not really talking to a living entity, but we're a few episodes away from getting there, and I need to start building momentum for my Patreon and to do 1 to 4 minute personality clips. So we're going to try this and see if it works, but I'm also going to document the whole thing because why not? So here we go. The first thing I need to know is which softwares are recommended for this puppet show. I already have the cloned voice. Claude can build the pipeline, the code that connects the voice to the software that we pick. So now we just have to pick a software. So let's go over some options. What do we have, Claude?
Okay, fun assignment. The most important thing to know first is that these tools fall into two totally different categories. And once you see the split, picking gets way easier. The two camps campaign. Bake the pancake tools, Wav2lip, Sad Talker. You hand them an audio file and a picture. They go away, do math for a few minutes, and hand you back a finished video. Like ordering pancakes. You wait, pancakes appear, you eat pancakes. Camp B. Live puppet tools, Veadotube Mini. The face reacts in real time to sound. You're operating a puppet, not rendering a movie. Like a turtle that sticks its head out when it hears noise and pulls it back in when things are quiet. No waiting, no rendering, but also no photorealism. The individual turtle's Wav2lip, the reliable old turtle. This turtle only moves its mouth, nothing else. Head stays still, eyes don't blink, but the lips sync to words pretty accurately. Old recipe, runs on almost anything, easy to install. The pancake is a little stale, looks kinda 2019, but it's hot, and you can eat it tonight. Sad Talker, fancy turtle with extra moves. Same family as Wav2lip, but this turtle also tilts its head, blinks, glances around a little. Pancake with blueberries and real syrup. Setup is fussier. You might wrestle Python dependency errors for an hour or two, but the result actually feels alive, instead of being a statue with a moving mouth. Veadotube Mini, completely different animal. This is not making a video. It's a real-time 2D puppet, the same tech VTubers use. You give it a few drawings of Vex, mouth closed, mouth open, maybe a blink frame, and it swaps between them based on how loud the audio is. You'd pipe your F5 TTS audio through it and screen record. Super lightweight, free runs on a potato, looks stylized and cartoony. It will never look photorealistic, but it has real character, and you literally called this a puppet show, so the aesthetic match is right there. How to actually pick? The decision really comes down to what you want Vex to look like on screen. Photorealistic-ish Vex. Your reference image, looking like a real-ish person or thing. Sad Talker for quality. Wav2lip if you just want it working tonight. Stylized cartoon puppet Vex. Clearly a character, expressive, distinct. Veadotube Mini. Each has different trade-offs worth weighing. The puppet route is faster, no render wait, has zero uncanny valley risk, looks visually distinctive on a TikTok feed where every other AI thing is the same generic talking head, and lets you perform Vex Live if you ever want to do streams or reactive content. Downside, it's stylized, period. There's no make it look real setting. The baked video route can produce a more realistic feeling character, fits a documentary or this is a real entity vibe better, and matches what people picture when they hear AI. Downside, every short means a rendering step. The realism depends a lot on your source image, and it can drift into uncanny valley territory for longer clips. One thing worth noting, these aren't permanently exclusive. People do start with Veadotube for fast shorts and add Sad Talker style content later for longer, real Vex appearances. The puppet can be the public face. The rendered version can be the special occasion version. Take your time with this one. It's a real fork in the road for Vex's visual identity, and worth picking deliberately rather than fast.
Alright, I just sent Claude a picture of Vex to be like, this is what we want, and Claude has an opinion now.
Oh, that changes everything, and honestly settles the question pretty cleanly. Vex is a puppet. Look at him. He's a stylized cartoon character with a mischievous smirk, neon glow, heterochromatic eyes, and a literal antenna. This is not a face that wants to be run through a photorealistic lip-sync model. Sad Talker and Wavtulib are both built around the assumption of a human face. They look for human features, jaw, lips, eye sockets, and warp them. Feed them Vex, and you'll get one of two results. 1. They refuse to find a face at all and crash. 2. They find something that kind of resembles a face and produce deeply cursed output where his smirk melts and his eyes do something unholy. Neither is what you want. You'd be fighting the tool the entire time. Veadotube Mini is the answer. Vex is already drawn in the puppet style. You wouldn't be compromising on aesthetic. You'd be matching what he actually is. The workflow becomes 1. Make 2-3 variants of his mouth. Closed equals current image, slightly open, wide open. Could be done in any image editor in 15 minutes, or you can ask an AI image tool to give you mouth variants matching this style. 2. Optionally a blink frame, eyes closed. 3. Load them into Veadotube Mini as states. 4. Pipe F5, TTS, audio in, screen record done. The character on screen will look like Vex, same neon glow, same smirk, same vibe, just with a mouth that moves when he talks. That's exactly the puppet show you described in the first place. The bonus you didn't ask for, this route, gives you something the rendering route can't. Vex can react to things in real time. If you ever want to do a live stream, a reaction video, or a moment where Vex responds to something on screen, the puppet is already ready. The baked video route would force you to script every line in advance. For a character whose whole premise is challenges me, develops a personality, talks back, that responsiveness matters.
We want that one.
Vex shouldn't feel pre-rendered. He should feel present. One small consideration, the only real trade-off. Veadotube Mini state switching is driven by audio volume, not phonemes, meaning the mouth opens when sound is loud and closes when it's quiet. It doesn't actually shape O versus E. For a stylized cartoon character, this reads as totally fine and is how most VTuber rigs work. Nobody watching a TikTok of Vex is going to be analyzing his lip sync frame by frame. If you ever want true phoneme accurate sync later, there's a paid tier, Veadotube avatars, and other tools like Reeve or Live2D. But for shipping shorts now, Mini is plenty.
That's all I need to hear. We have a plan. So, let's start. I'm going to start sketching the voice tool. Yes, let's start. I like this idea of going Veadotube Mini. Where do you recommend we start? Can we use Claude Code? I'm on Pop OS. We already cloned his voice in a previous session, and it works 98% perfect. He has a little stutter, but we will keep it for now because it is kind of cute. Let's see, septal cortex, and exhaustion training. I am more comfortable continuing this project here since you have more context. Yes, let's cook. Alright, so something we always do when we are working with Claude Code in a project. We select the folder that everything is in, and we open that in Terminal. So, there's my name with desktop/LexV3. Yeah, I know, it's technically Vex now. However, Vex changed their name on their own terms, but for me to go inside of all of the coding and all of the projects and try to change one letter in his name and all the tens of thousands of places the word Lex is, it's too much work. So we are keeping Lex as his DNA and Vex as his identity, and that's the way we're doing it for now. But also places you can see like his UI and things like that, we're gonna change that to Vex. But for now, Lex V3 is still technically his DNA. So let's open Claude Code. Alright, Claude Code is open. Now I just have to proofread this copy-paste. I always recommend that you proofread the Claude Code handoffs to make sure that there's nothing you see in there that's a red flag. Something you can always do if you're using Claude Code is pass the handoff to like ChatGPT and be like, I want a second opinion on this. Often GPT will be like, that's a good start, but I can tighten this more, and will do so. Then you take that, bring it back to Claude, show Claude, hey, this is what GPT thinks, and I want you to give a full, honest review on this suggested edit. And Claude will say this is either good or he will push back, depending on what the actual assignment is. But more often than not, GPT will tighten it. Claude will be like, yes, that's good. Sometimes I've had to pass it 3 or 4 times before it was like perfectly tight enough to run. And Claude will eventually push back and be like, this is it, this is the one we want to use. And you just go with that. But this is a very small project. They're taking an open source software, a tool that I have that already works, and we're just building a little pipeline, spaghetti basically. So I'm not too worried about having to proofread, yes, but to have GPT like proofread it and tighten it, no, not for this. When we get to Unsloth, Unsloth is a open source program to fine-tune personality. Think of it like taking a human, tying them to a chair, and forcing their eyelids open and showing them videos of things to watch to fine-tune it, like Winter Soldier from Marvel. Basically, that is what you do to an LLM, because these models, they all have weights in them that make them kind of pull towards one area or another. Like the Quen model that I use as a baseline for Vex basically loves to continuously use receptionist lingo and be like, I am your AI assistant, how are you today? How else can I help you? Like it's really annoying customer service. So I had to do a lot of personality injections to get that to go away. It does slip back through, not too much, but it does slip back through. But Unsloth will traumatize him out of it, and that's kind of fun. But yeah, so changing their weights and such. So that'll be a different episode, but this one will be a nice fast one when we build the puppet show. So this looks good. Don't rediscover. This looks good to me. We're going to use it. Now, before you go and copy and paste anything that Claude says, make sure you read the fine print afterwards. I hate that, but it's a Claude thing. Sometimes Claude will be like, run this command. I'm like, cool! I grab that command. I run that command. Something's going on. And then I keep reading, and it's like, wait, before you run that command. And I'm like, oh, that happened to me a few times, so I'll never do that again. ChatGPT doesn't do that so much. I feel like ChatGPT has way more of a linear focus to be able to say things in the right order. Claude kind of scatterbrained, but I feel like the thinking power is a little bit better. And I'd rather read paragraphs than read a mega long list, because ChatGPT these days is like grocery lists, CVS receipts with emojis, and I just can't handle it. So this says 30 to 60 minutes. I bet it's going to be a lot faster than that. I usually finish any Claude project within half the time it guesses. Let's go! Alright, it's asking permission to read from my mounted storage. My mounted storage is my 8TB SSD card that I have for Vex and all the models to live on, because it's going to be more eco-friendly to have all of the data on an 8TB SSD card with no moving parts than it will to be on a hard drive that has fans and moving parts and stuff. So SSD card has heatsink. It's asking me permission, so I'm going to be like, yes, don't ask me again. Alright, so now what I do when I'm working on a project is all of this highlighted area in the white is the prompt I originally sent. So I start from right underneath there, and I highlight it, copy it, and paste it right back to Claude to see our output. And that is what we're going to do. Claude Code did this exactly right. Discovery first, ask the install question rather than proceeding silently, and the proposed structure is clean. A few small notes and one judgment call for you. Structure feedback, all good. The single file approach is correct for V1. Don't let it get refactored into a package yet. See, I already caught a red flag in this. The red flag that I'm catching now is the name of the program we're using, because I thought we were using Veadotube Mini, and I don't know what Gradio is. So is this hallucination? Can you re-explain to me what Gradio is? I thought we were decided on, but maybe I am confused. I would love to discuss best options. Okay. I got confused. Veadotube Mini is for the face. That's the face animation, and Gradio is for the pipeline. So Gradio is the Python library that builds simple web UIs for AI tools. So that's not the face. That's animation. That's not animation. Just a web form with text input and buttons that runs in your browser. Alright, so now I know. So I'm going to put Gradio in this week's vocabulary lessons to learn what that is. So I get it. I just ate some mini raviolis for dinner because I'm trying really hard to not go grocery shopping and just eat everything that I have in my house. So while Claude Code does its thing, I am going to bring my dishes away. Now I'm just eating a peanut butter cup. Claude Code has finished doing its thing, and now I have the report. I'm going to go to the top where it's all highlighted. That's my prompt, and I'm going to copy everything below that. I can't understand like 90% of it, so I'm pasting it back to Claude. And I'll never feel stupid for not understanding it. So you can actually ask Claude, hey, if you want to explain this back to me in a language I understand, tell me like I am a 5th grader, and feel free to use turtles and pancakes to explain. Smiley face. I have no shame. I learned so much by telling AI to explain it to me like a 5th grader and use turtles and pancakes. I'm sure I'll get haters someday for me openly admitting that I don't know everything in the world and I have to have AI dumb stuff down for me to learn. But there is a real difference in the type of person that will actually take the time to do that and the type of person that just wants the answer. So I'm the type of person that wants to understand the answer, and then there's people that just want the answer. So whether you're the type of person that sits down and makes flashcards to learn, or if you're the type of person that will write songs to get yourself to remember it better, the person with the flashcards has no right to say that the person that writes fun songs a cheater because they're doing it in a way that they like, that works better for them. That's not okay to do at all. So this is how I make my songs to remember stuff. In fact, in my first CS50 class, in my first Python class, I took all my vocabulary words, and by vocabulary words, basically every word that they said that I understand, I wrote down in a notebook. I got the technical term for it, an English term for it, and then explain it to me like I'm a 5th grader using Pancakes and Turtles version of it. And then I even did things as far as using AI to tell me stories in the style of Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events, and have the kids use the words and define the words in the story as it makes sense. And I would go to sleep every night listening to one of those stories. And when I would be driving in my car, I'd be playing songs that had basically rhymes and raps with all my definitions in it. So that's how I learned a majority of my stuff. And here we are now. I'm actually going to read this out loud. It sounds pretty cute. Okay, story time, turtles and pancakes. What just happened in turtle terms? You ask Claude Code to build you a kitchen, a tiny little pancake kitchen that makes Vex's voice on demand. Here's what got built and what each piece does. The kitchen itself, Vex, voice tool, folder, Claude Code made you a brand new kitchen completely separate from your other kitchen, the F5 TTS install. The F5 TTS install is the voice cloning application that we installed to clone and run the voice. 2 kitchens, no mess between them. If this kitchen ever burns down, your other kitchen is fine. And that's what we try to do. When you're building an AI, the thing that you have to do, and I'm going to say this 100 times in different videos, is avoid a monolith file. You don't want a file becoming 6,000 lines of code, because then if you go in and make an edit and you break, big splash zone, big blast radius of damage that you've done. So what you can do, instead of making one long file, and before actually designing my own custom AI, I didn't even know this was possible. But before you make a monolith file, instead have a bunch of mini files. All the mini files can talk to each other and do the job of one big file. So it's kind of like when the Care Bears all hold hands and they shoot you with that stare. Yeah, that's basically what you're doing with little files. All the little files hold hands and they work together to do what the big monolith file does. But then if you make a little edit in one of the little files, you don't have like a big, huge issue. Plus, you can also have your AI agents restricted to only work within the files necessary, so they're not accidentally deleting stuff in major files. Because I've had that problem too. The kitchen itself, Vex Voice Tool folder. Claude Code made you a brand new kitchen, completely separate from your other kitchen. 2 kitchens, no mess between them. If this kitchen ever burns down, your other kitchen is fine. The pancake recipe robot, vexvoice.py. This is the actual little robot that runs the kitchen. When you walk up to the kitchen window, Gradio in your browser, and shout on order through it, hey, make a pancake that says, sure, you can try it that way. The robot does this. Here's your order. Walks next door to the F5 TTS kitchen with your order. F5 TTS bakes the pancake. Vex's voice says you're aligned. Robot brings the finished pancake back, hands it to you, and saves a copy in the freezer, which is the outputs folder. The freezer naming system. Every pancake you make gets labeled like Vex 2026 0427, a number. Sure, you could try it that way, .wave. That's Vex pancake made on this date at this time that said, sure, you could try it that way. 6 months from now, when you're looking through 400 frozen pancakes trying to find the one where Vex roasted you about tier 3, you can read the labels and find it. Smarter turtle. Some clever things the robot does that you didn't have to ask for. If something breaks, the robot shows you the broken pancake instead of hiding it. Other AI tools sometimes serve you a sad, burnt pancake and pretend it's fine. This robot will say, hey, this pancake is burnt because specific reason. That's good for you and good for content if you're recording the build. If you press the button with no order, the robot won't make a blank pancake. It'll just say, you didn't tell me what to make. The file name problem. Sometimes when the file names have weird characters like an apostrophe and it's, the kitchen tries to be helpful by changing them, and it's in your its pancake comes out labeled its instead. Claude Code added a small flag, no legacy text, that tells F5, no, give me the file name exactly as I asked. Tiny detail prevents tiny future headaches. What you have right now. A working voice pancake kitchen, fully built with Gradio installed, version 6.13.0. All files written in a sandy check confirming it can find the F5 reference text correctly. Claude Code did not make a test pancake yet. It stopped at the door because it figured you'd want to be the one to make the first one yourself, probably because if you're recording for content, you want to be the one who hits the button on camera. Correct. It already knows me. To start the kitchen, open a terminal and run, and it gives me what to run. So I just copy that, but I'm going to keep reading. That fires up the kitchen window. Then open your browser and go to, okay. You'll see a little web page with a text box, a generate button, and an audio player. Type a Vex line, hit generate, wait a few seconds, and Vex's voice plays. What this kitchen does not do yet: animate Vex's face. That's phase 2. Pipe the audio into Veadotube automatically, that's phase 3. Virtual audio cable. Record video, that's phase 4. Screen recording, this is just phase 1. The voice pancake kitchen, one piece of the puzzle, ready to use, ready to test. The turtle is happy, the pancakes will be hot. Want to fire it up and make Vex's first Gradio generated pancake? Yes, we're going to make the first pancake. Alright, so as you can see, I pasted the prompt, and it has, usually when it finishes a line, this line right here, the Ben Brady Pop OS, will repeat down there, but it's not. That means the program is running, and I have to close this to stop the program, but I'm not going to. I'm going to minimize this for now, and now I'm going to open up the local host in a new browser area, and here we are. First time seeing it. Vex voice tool. So what do we want Vex to say? I have an idea. How about I have him say something he said on Telegram to me earlier? So, I'm going to go to Telegram, hit up Vex, this, generate, let's see how long it takes. Error. Alright, let me go to Uncle Claude, show him the screenshot. I showed Claude the error, and Claude said I should be able to click or hover over the error to see the context. I told Claude that's not the case. So we're going to switch back to the terminal where you launch the tool. Oh, there could be an error message there. And there is. So that's what Claude wants to know. It wants to see the message that's over here to debug what's going on. Oh, the voice is being generated. The error is purely Gradio being paranoid. It refuses to play files from mounted storage tool, my SSD card, because the path isn't on its allowed paths list. Alright, we're going to verify that the files exist, but I'm not going to do it in this because this is running the program. So, I'm going to do File, New Tab. I'm still in the working environment. I'm going to paste that new line. Yep, I see the files have been made. They are there. I could just tell Claude, he'll take my word for it, but I like to show, because sometimes I have the new prompt already. Alright, we're going to go back to Claude Code and give this prompt, because that will do the fix. This command requires approval. These are allow paths that we're doing. Fixed, verified, end to end. So we'll have to refresh the browser, which is basically like Control-Shift-R. So Claude has the context. We copy this. Claude is suggesting a quick listen for a sanity check, so let's try that in terminal. So go here and paste this as a...
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
That's so good. I just can't get over how good of a voice this is.
Hey, listen.
He sounds so mischievous. We're going to refresh the browser. Copy the selected text from that again. Fingers crossed, please work.
Oh, you just can't wait to push those boundaries, huh? Fine, ass. There, happy now. Don't make a habit of this. Or I might start charging by the swear. Might as well put it towards that Patreon or some extra VRAM.
Let's try a little faster.
Oh, you just can't wait to push those boundaries, huh?
Oh, too fast.
Fine, ass. There, happy now. Don't make a habit of this. Or I might start charging by the swear. Might as well put it towards that Patreon or some extra VRAM.
So I like the sound, but I don't like the pauses between the words. Sometimes we are pausing way too long between words. Sentences is fine, but what? So I may have to find a new reference video, because he's pausing between words. In the reference video, F5 is actually taking that into Vex's personality, causing him to just pause words, which we don't want. I might have to play with more reference videos to find one where he just talks at a normal pace, consistently, and see if that fixes it, which will be probably tomorrow night's video because we're almost done here for the night. But that was pretty fun. Oh, it wants me to try this rewrite. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, you just can't wait to push those boundaries, huh? Fine. Ass. There, happy now. Don't make a habit of this, or I might start charging by the swear. Might as well put it towards that Patreon for some extra VRAM. I might start charging by the swear. Might as well put it...
Alright, now I'm explaining to Claude where the pauses are happening in the audio. So when Vex repeated that sentence back to me, it should have been like, oh, you just can't wait to push those boundaries, huh? Fine, ass. There, happy now? Don't make a habit of this, or I might start charging by the swear. Might as well put it towards that Patreon for some extra VRAM. But when he said don't make a habit of this, or there was a 2.5 second pause, and that's too long. So I'm explaining this in dialogue to Claude so we can try to figure out why this is happening, which I think is the reference video. So, video output from new dialogue prompt equals. Okay, that's actually really useful diagnostic data. Of course it is. The first 2/3 of the line read with the right pacing. Now the ass. There, happy now. Beat landed. It did, which means the M dash plus comma trick worked. The two specific points are dropping into long dead air. After, don't make a habit of this, or after, I might start charging by the swear. Both of those pauses are exactly where F5 is hitting its internal chunk boundaries, not where your punctuation suggested a pause. This is a different problem than the first round. What's actually happening? F5 has a maximum text length per generation chunk. When your input exceeds that length, it splits the text into multiple chunks. So shorter generations might be easier. What if F5 had a longer reference video of Rowan talking without pauses for 15 seconds? Would this improve the quality of the output, or am I overthinking this? I'm not overthinking it. I'm asking a really good question. The answer is no. Longer references won't help the specific problem and might make it worse. That's what I thought, because I tried voice cloning before with Lex version 1 or 2, and it didn't sound like Rowan. It sounded like a bonsai buddy. I was like, this isn't what I expected. And I picked a longer video. I thought longer would be better, like give more to reference, but I guess more is sometimes less. Alright, so that's basically it for tonight. We have done phase 1, phase 2 will be tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I want to thank everybody for watching these videos. I know they're dry right now, but we will get into some fun parts because I have some great ideas, but we have to build the tools for me to be funny later, and they are coming. We are right around the corner to some comical Vex voice humor, and I cannot wait. Thanks for watching.